I have been planning out my work weeks as well as some of the tasks that my wife and I have here around our house. Well, I'm very particular about planning out those tasks, and even my work week, I use my phone. And when I use my phone, I put it into my phone calendar. So I'm able to prioritize what's important, and I have them in my calendar. My wife and I sat down, we talked about some of the tasks that we have here at the house. And I said, what I can do is I can send that to you to your phone. And she told me, she goes, I don't need that sent to my phone. I have it on my calendar. So the calendar that she has and that she uses is a paper calendar. And I thought about that for a second. I said, that's important too. And there's two ways that you can do that. So I looked over my wife's calendar and I could see where that she had erase marks. She uses a pencil. And these erase marks, I asked her a question. I said, well, why are these erased and what happened here? Because I had them in my order in my phone. And she said, well, these are where, certain tasks were in there that were, erased out because what she put into place was what Jesus had planned. And this is important, that what Jesus had planned for us to do, and that we realize that Jesus had planned those things out that were more important to us. And I think that's using good discernment. And we did this for each and every day. And I looked over her calendar and I could see many times where she took that eraser and changed it. And what we did was very, very important. And what it did, it made me realize that my, what they call this phone, this electronic calendar, to pry it really out of my hands. And it really created what was, I thought, a very different agenda. The agenda was more Jesus-centered. And it brought a scripture to mind. And I'd like to read this to you right now. It's from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jesus wants us to trust in Him and to trust in Him with our past, our plans, and our future. All of our dreams, to truly, truly trust in Him. Jesus has the power to overcome obstacles. And maybe you've gone through some obstacles or going through some obstacles now, especially during this pandemic. And Jesus will guide us with His grace and to navigate us through these trials. But we have to put our calendars, and I think this is important, whether they're on paper or whether they're in our electronic, devices, our phones. We have to hand those calendars over to Jesus. We need to let Jesus guide us each and every day. I believe that Jesus is truly in the business of making our path straight. He adjusts each day with His mercy. When we invite Him into the details of our lives, and yes, we have to invite Him. We have to invite Him in. And when we do that in our lives, we know that we can trust Him because of His amazing love for us. I'd like to challenge you right now to look at your calendars. Maybe you use an electronic phone calendar or, one of the old school calendars, whatever one that you have, to look at it. And I ask you this question. Have you written your plans, and be specific here when I say this, in pencil, so that you can trust Jesus to make those changes? Do you trust Him? Do you trust Him enough to make those changes? I'd also ask you to invite Him into the very details of your life and ask Him to make your paths straight. This is important. It's important in our lives today as we navigate this together. So as we go forth this day, may the Lord bless you, and thank you for coming into our living room this day. Take care, and God bless.